Hey everybody, Matt here with Big Red Liquors, and today I've got the latest Old Scout Smooth Ambler single barrel, which is now an American whiskey, not a straight bourbon or a straight rye. And so what does that mean? That means they've basically taken a portion of what I imagine, they don't disclose this, but what I imagine are 3 to 8 year, somewhere in that range, MGP straight bourbon, and then they combine that with another liquid stream of American whiskey, and it can't be labeled straight bourbon because that second whiskey that they blend with the straight bourbon is aged in rejuvenated oak casks, aka used oak barrels, the same way Scotch, Irish, Canadian tequila is aged. So I don't think we should be biased necessarily right off the bat just because of used barrels, because used barrels produce some of the most amazing spirits in the world. The new charred oak barrel is obviously a constraint that has created some amazing American whiskeys, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that way as long as you don't label it bourbon. And as long as you sell it and you can stay in business. So a lot of these things are a combination of creative, consumer-driven decisions and also business decisions, because the way bulk whiskey market is, if you can't support the runway for a new product launch, why would you start? So it's one thing that anybody can go out and probably buy for a lot of money 100 barrels of 10-year-old bourbon and do a one-time release. But there's really no point in doing a one-time release because you don't really make the money on the whiskey. You make a little bit of money, but you make the money when you sell the company or you sell the brand. So if you can't support a brand, you're never going to see that launched. That's obviously not the case with some of this bulk blended whiskey or bulk American whiskey that's on the market that people are combining with straight whiskey, and let's just judge the results as they are. I like it that it's 107 proof. There's no age statement on it. There's no disclosure of the distilleries where it's from. It's also non-chill filtered. Some nice color on it. Certainly more depth, aroma, and flavor than like an Early Times, even though Early Times is not bad. Get a little bit of a hit of mint. I get a little bit of like an orange chocolate note on the nose. Definitely get like that fresh cut oak. A little bit of that hint of brown sugar, which I think is the used or rejuvenated barrel. Let's try it. Definitely some nice peppery oak spice on the finish. Certainly kind of a soft orange apple fruit right on the mid palate. Yeah, just really nice oak, a little bit of pepper spice to it as well. This is a very solid whiskey. For $34.99, I still consider this a value for a non-chill filtered single barrel. And it's one you should add to your collection, and one that I think will mark, either two things. Kind of a blip on the radar, and then you'll see straight whiskeys come out again, or kind of the vanguard of a new creative move towards different types of American whiskeys that people are willing to try and pay for. Maybe not 60, 70, 80 bucks or 100 bucks, but in under $40. The non-age statement whiskeys in the Scotch market have kind of gone a little bit of the same way, with varying degrees of success. But because the global demand for whiskey is so high right now, I think we've got to be open-minded to these ideas and these projects. That's why we bought this single barrel. I'm pleased with the results, and I think it's a whiskey worth trying. Cheers.